battle podcast for Kaitou Sentai LupinRanger versus Keisatsu Sentai PatoRanger. I am Vashi V, and joining me today are...
Decade,
And Rye.
and today we're talking about episode 23. So, we open on Dogranio's mansion. The Ganglars Raimon, Giwi, and Ushibarok are drinking in his dining room when he shows up. Uh, Raimon calls him Uncle. I'm not sure if they're actually related or if that's just something he calls him. Uh, But Gosh is surprised because she heard that their little group was making a base in the human world. Destra is furious that Raimon is in the Granio's seat, but he's confident that it will be his soon enough. So yeah, thoughts?
Ryman is arrogant. As for if he's actually related to Granio, I say possibly not. Just based on costume design, they don't really seem to have a theme in common. Although that hasn't stopped Sentai villains in the past. It wouldn't really make much difference whether he is or isn't. Dogranio doesn't really seem to care either way.
I like the idea of him being, his nephew. It adds a little bit more to a dynamic of him trying to push to be the one who takes over, because, relation. But other than that, it's one of those that doesn't seem to be really relevant. And it could just be as simple as the way most Japanese televisions will refer to an older lady as auntie. It could just be that type of thing where they're just, sign of respect to the older male in the room. But yeah, he is arrogant as shit. Because if he's not related to Degranio, sit in the Dawn seat, he's lucky he's not dead.
Like, if he's not related to Granio, then he is a major asshole. Decade?
Yep. So yeah, we cut to Gerard. Noel is enamored with Toma's cooking. Toma just rejects his compliments. Noel decides that Toma is the perfect candidate for an undercover mission. Basically, chefs are disappearing from a culinary school, and there's probably Ganglar involved. The police were awful chefs, so their cover was totally blown. Noel will support him. Toma agrees in exchange for the collection piece that they get. And then we get the opening. Thoughts?
Well, it makes sense that Toma would specifically say, hey, give us a collection piece, because he doesn't know that... He doesn't exactly know Noel handed the last one over. Or even if that was part of their agreement, he didn't see it happen, so there's still distrust there.
It makes sense for his distrust and all that, and I love the fact that the cops tried to go undercover and were just terrible.
Like, the open, instant ramen packet gets me. You know that was Keiichiro.
I kind of want to say that was Sakuya. Or Sakuya. Why the...
Also, could have been him.
I think the burned fish was Keiichiro. He seems the type to go traditional but still fuck it up. But yeah, this entire episode I had flashbacks to Blade. Or not Blade,
I was gonna say
Kabuto.
Kabuto, yeah, the Iron
Kabuto.
Chef episode.
Yeah. So many parallels to that. It's but yeah,
the difference is that this one had a good justification The one in Kabuto was like, "Hey, we're having a chef competition
Why not?
because we need a chef, so we're making a contest out of it."
But yeah, it's like for something that could easily have just been like some random filler episode. This starts out off well, and yeah, I like the start of this, especially with Noel just randomly eating at the shop.
Yeah. So yeah, we get kind of like a montage of just Toma teaching the class and giving the students helpful advice. Noel notices how well he teaches, which is kind of surprising because he's pretty standoffish. So that was nice to see a different side of him. But a student reveals himself as the Gangler Ushibarok and captures the two. Kairi and Umika follow. The Gangler takes Noel and Toma to a large boat. They sneak around and overhear his plan to find a new chef for the ship. The two Kaitou change. Raimon and Giwi arrive and join the fight. Raimon is a status gold. He's got one gold safe. And Blue fails to open the safe with his vehicle. Just gets an error message. And then it gets damaged by Raimon's attack. Lupin X retreats with Toma. Yeah, not looking good. Thoughts?
Okay, so just because you can do something doesn't mean you can teach someone else how to do it. Like, explaining what you're doing in a cohesive way is a different set of skills. So Tuma is doing an amazing job here. It is really impressive. Uh, as for the fight, this was a great way to showcase the new villains. Interesting that they can't just unlock a gold safe. They're more than just for show, which is nice.
Like this premise was good, and it showcased Toma very well. I mean, it was fairly obvious that that dude was the Gangler, because I mean, he was literally the only person there who was completely different from everybody else.
One of these things is not like
It's
the
not like
others.
the other. Exactly. But like Tuma's dedication is amazing. To even something as simplistic as cooking, it's you can see his passion through it, especially with the way his actor handles it. Which I kind of really hope that his actor actually can cook like this, because that would be fucking amazing. And it's just the professionalism and the detail that he gives to it. You can feel his passion in it, even if it is just a sting. He's taking it as an opportunity to teach people too. The fight was fantastic. I loved the actual fighting introduction of the. I'm trying to think of the word. The evil monster team. I can't. For some reason, I could not think of the word I needed for that. And he, it's done really well, and it even shows that this isn't just a one-off thing. This is going to be an issue with them unlocking the saves, which I'm glad they didn't just up and go, "Hey, it's open," because that would have been very disappointing for the major villain to lose their collection piece to start with. And I kind of also wasn't expecting. I'm like, "Ooh, what's this collection piece? Oh wait, shit." So I'm glad it's not just decoration. There
And
is something to do with this.
and the next question is, did it get the combination wrong somehow, or did it just not open?
I'm I'm thinking it got the combination wrong. Personally, it makes the easier solution for it. that it would have a, for lack of a better term, a tougher encryption on it.
I also like the
'Cause,
idea that there was a secondary lock.
I mean, that would work too. I mean, either one of them would work really well. It's like I'm tend to focus more on the fact that the VS vehicles are essentially electronic lockpicks. So to get it wrong would basically require the whatever they're lockpicking to have a higher security level than what they're used to unlocking. It also gives Noel something to do later on as an engineer.
Very true, very true. Um, so let's see. Noel's surprised that the safe didn't open. He asks Goody to bring Kairi and Umika. Over the intercom, Ushibarok informs Toma that if he beats him in a cooking competition, he'll work the rest of his life as the hideout's chef. That's a pretty cool hideout, but not a very good deal. Noel tells him to go ahead while he fixes the blue vehicle, but Toma doesn't trust a stranger. Noel doesn't see Toma as a stranger because of how sincere he was about cooking. Just as Toma is a very dedicated and professional chef, Noel is a professional collection mechanic who wants to repair Toma's vehicle. Toma gives in and heads to the cook-off. This was really good. Yeah, I'm loving Noel and his interactions with all of the Rangers so far. Thoughts?
This was a really good scene. Because Noel is right. Tuma is a great chef. And it just comes down to him convincing Tuma that, hey, I'm equally dedicated to my work when it comes to working on the collection pieces and playing my role in both teams. Good job.
Right. I mean, Noel does it very well, and Tuma is understandably distrusting of Noel. So all he knows of Noel is the fact that he's on both teams. So he sees him as somebody who can't really be trustworthy because they don't know enough about him.
He also made some of the VS vehicles that the cops use.
Right. So his distrust of him is genuine. And this was a very phenomenal way for Noel to get Tuma to trust him at least a little bit, enough to go along with the plan that is brought forth for Tuma to handle it while he fixes the vehicle. And just the way Noel's actor handled the emotion of I understand you distrust me, but can you at least try? Comes across very, very genuine. And I like when that happens. Is it seems like they kind of have this issue outside of set when we obviously know they don't. But it's a nice play, and it's handled very, very well. This is one of the reasons why I'm enjoying this series so much. Is everything feels genuine. Even the over the top Keiichiro's anger and all that stuff. Everything just feels genuine.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, Toma heads to the cook-off. Raimon and Giwi will be the judges. If Toma loses, he dies. So guess what happened to all of the other chefs that disappeared? They're dead.
Yeah,
this is definitely the darkest Sentai we've got in a while.
That's just a heavy revelation. They're not still being caged up or anything. Like, nah, they're gone. You're not getting them back.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is like especially in recent years. This is, I think, the darkest Sentai's gotten in a while with something, even if it is something as minor somebody characters will never see, because it adds to the stakes of what's going on. Because yeah, these monsters seemingly haven't killed anybody. I mean, besides whoever was in a building that blew up during the mech fights. So the fact that because everybody up until now, it doesn't seem like they were trying to kill them, just rather get them for some nefarious purpose or whatever it may have been. Where this is just literally beat me or I'm gonna kill you. There was no subtext with this. This was as blunt as it possibly could have been, and it's amazing.
Yeah. So get another montage of Noel cooking and Toma cooking and Noel repairing. And yeah, Tom was kind of reflecting on what Noel said. And of course, Toma wins. But Ujibarok refuses to be replaced and attacks. Noel joins Toma above deck. A Kaito change. Red and yellow swoop in just in time for the roll call. It's great. And Raimon and Giwi join the fight. Those two are pretty tough. Red and yellow are barely saved by the scissor shield, but the two walk away before the explosion clears. So they don't know. The four LupinRangers defeat Ushibarok. Gosh revives him. Ruben Kaiser and ex-Emperor defeat the Giant. And it was a pretty fun mech fight with some fun teamwork. Thoughts?
Okay, the cooking showdown. Not only did Tuma make better tasting food, he also put a lot more effort into presentation. He made it also look good, which is just a level of care that the other chef he didn't even care about, even if he made food that was actually worth its meat. Uh, as for the fight between them, I like how we establish. Well, actually, first off, the one guy getting mad that he lost. I like this a lot because he was the one they sent to find a new chef in the first place. So he went out looking for good chefs, thinking that he wouldn't lose. Like, you know what, I'll just find a good chef, and then when they see my food is better, they won't replace me. That's my takeaway, at least. I like how we eliminated one of the three to leave the other two because it reminds me of some villains from Bokenger and how it started out with two of them. They brought in a third one, and then another one got taken out, so it's still two again. It's just that whole thing of like you introduce a group, but not everyone in that group is going to make it. I suspect these other two will be around a while though. Uh, oh, and I love the comment Kyrie makes to Tuma, like, "What did you do to piss this guy off so much?"
I waited that whole scene just for that line. I was waiting for that line because it was one of those, like, if it doesn't get said, that was just that would have been just so sad to have that missed opportunity to go, what did you do? Um, did you have anything on the mech fight, Rye?
I don't really remember it that well. I only watched this episode once a couple days ago. I don't remember disliking it, so it was probably a decent mech fight. I'm still not sold on the PatoRanger version of X's mech, though.
Yeah, I'm not. It's a little Tokuger for me.
It's just too bulky for me, which is a weird complaint about mechs.
It. I think my biggest issue with the mech is the gun placement. Like, I get that that's supposed to be, like, I guess, like the gun on the waist type of thing, but it just, because of the way the mech is framed, it doesn't work right. Um, One, it was nice to finally get the answer of what that symbol was for a while back.
Oh, the Ganglar symbol?
Yes, that had popped up for after Zamiko got introduced. That disappeared. I'm assuming that that logo is for this particular group.
Uh, is it the, like, kind of looks like a Y?
Yeah, with a weird cog on it.
Yeah, no, that's the Granio symbol.
Oh,
Yeah, those are like his saw blades on his shoulders.
oh, I
Yeah,
haven't paid attention enough to it, to that.
we figured it out off camera. It's a Dogranio symbol, so it's the generic Ganglar symbol.
Well, that's just slightly disappointing a little bit. Um, my issue with the cook off issue is how dumb do you have to be as a villain who's doesn't want to be replaced as a chef to go get a good chef?
He was so confident in his own food, he got the best chef he could find because he thought he would still win. And he would show the others, like, this is literally the best I could find. You see, I'm just always better than humans.
That's still a dumb plan. I don't
I
care how arrogant. I mean, this is, typical tokusatsu and actually typical villain stupidity overall in general. Of I'm amazing at what I do, so I'm going to find somebody who could potentially be better than me and face off against them.
That's just the thing, though. He didn't even consider it a possibility that he could be better than him.
Which is just stupid.
Yes.
I mean,
Why is that?
I mean, in fairness, he was a cow. I guess that's defense against his intelligence. I enjoyed the cook off. Like I said, is like it wasn't just good tasting food. It looked amazing from just the way everything was presented, plate by plate, and the arrangement that he did for it was, that's top notch chef stuff there. I was disappointed there were no halos because I was having, like I said earlier, Kabuto flashbacks with all of this. I was waiting for that dumb gimmick that they pulled in Kabuto of really good food send you to heaven. Um, all in all, is like the fight itself was the fight itself was phenomenal. I liked the pose for all four of them when they did their roll call and pose, and I like the fact that they keep giving Umika something to sit on.
Well, yeah, that's her gimmick.
Like it was weird because I think they've done it once where she didn't sit down on something when they did the live action roll call.
Yeah, they can't do that when it's live action.
Well, that's what they did here. They had her sit down on part of the ship. A couple of episodes ago, she sat down on stairs and stuff like that. It's like there are ways that they could do it. It's just the one or two times where there's nothing around them. It's like just do the CG one, please. It looks better.
Right. It was in the episode where Noelle pretends to like betray the LupinRangers that they did their roll call in live action, and Umika didn't have anywhere to sit.
Right. It looks weird. I mean, it works. I'm so used to seeing her sit down on something because it's just cute as hell. Having the two others get away the way they did was actually pretty good, and because this sets up for a good decent arc for it. And my cat's going nuts. Sorry if you guys can hear that. The mech fight. The one thing I liked about the mech fight was when when X changed and launched the other one out of the hold. because the bad guy had gotten a hold of him and he just flipped him out of the grasp. It was unique and different. Also filmed kind of strange with the way they did it. Um, but yeah, this was a very good episode to showcase Toma, both as a Lupin Ranger and as a person, and it was a phenomenal blue centric episode.
Yep. Let's see. Final note.
One more thing I want to say
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
on because Lupin X actually got like a part in the Lupin Ranger's roll call for the first time, and I like what they did with his background there. That's all.
Yeah, he does have a neat background. Um, so Noel informs the police that the case is solved, and Keiichiro is fine with it because citizens are safe. Toma tells the others about the golden safes, and Umika notices that Toma isn't as hostile to Noel, and Toma has to agree. Episode end. Any more thoughts?
It's nice that Keiichiro is more concerned about the ganglers that got away than Noel going off on his own mission with the Lupin Rangers, because that's always been his priority. Gotta defeat all the ganglers. Are the ganglers and the thieves in front of him at the same time? The ganglers are more dangerous. He is very consistent about this.
Right, and then that's been a great thing that they've been focusing on with him. Because the only time it really wasn't the case was the first episode. Because we're both kind of hot-headed reds. I mean, Kyrie was more calm and through all that. It's like, but at least in that first episode, it was to hell with everything else. I'm trying to get every bad guy. He wasn't prioritizing in the first episode, and since then he has realized that the Gangler are the bigger issue. Except when I guess the Lupin Ranger's popularity gets too high. But yeah, all in all, this was a very well-rounded episode, and I loved it.
Yep, this was a great episode, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Looks like we're taking a break from Noel to see Kairi and Tsukasa interact. That should be interesting.
Yeah, another interesting pairing. It's you don't. So I've been trying to think about just like in past Sentai times where you see red and pink interact, and it's not a lot. You occasionally get ones like with Magi Ranger or in Bokenger, but overall, it's not that often that red and pink actually like interact with each other.
Right, and given history with this series, this is going to be a phenomenal pairing. Because they haven't had any missteps with the pairing yet. Because even with this episode, it was one of those I didn't understand why they paired those two together. In terms of like character wise, but it worked perfectly for this episode because it gave you more understanding of Noel and a deeper understanding of Tuma, which was phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to seeing next week's episode.
Sounds like
So,
that. Yeah, sounds like that's it for tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with more Kamen Rider Build. I think that series is on its last like 4 or 5 episodes, and next week for more Lupin Ranger versus PatoRanger. See you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening. One other note here: either this weekend or next weekend, there will be a roundtable podcast for Heisei Generation's final.
Oh, now we have to do it.
I mean, we were going to anyways. Because we all knew we were gonna do it.
Yeah.
Um, it's the last installment of X8 in of itself, which it's a nice tidy wrap up, and it has finally been released, as far as I can tell, through every main media that releases it. So it's time to get back to gaming. See you all next week.